Nice to see you, Noah.
It's nice to see you here today.
I think it's really our privilege to have the church to ask us to have this interview because this is very special for us.
Yeah, it really is.
There's a special thing about you. When you were baptized, we understood that you are 9th generation Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah.
And that's really very special. And your grandpa was the one who baptized you.
Yeah, he did. It was really cool. I've grown up, grandparents have been around me, teaching me Bible stories, Bible songs. It's really put my foundation in God. My parents always pray before I go to bed, and we just try to focus on God and make sure that He is a center point in our life.
You have been attending the Seventh-day Adventist school all your life. You are a junior.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever spent time to discuss with your parents about your future career, future plans?
I do like math and science, in school. I like those types of subjects. Those are good skills to have if you want to go to the medical field. Having my father, being in the medical field, he can show me different ways to, do things.
So what do you think of your parents?
I love my parents a lot. They've made sure that I've grow up knowing all about Jesus and how God loves me. I think my parents, they make sure that I'm responsible for things that I do. They want to know what's happening in my life. They want to be present, and I feel that's really awesome.
It's good to be close to your parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, my dad always tells me that he wants to make sure that he raised me right, that when I go to college, I'm ready for the world.
My father was considered a missionary from China when he was 19 years old. My father grew up in the Methodist family. Somewhere along the line, a Seventh-day Adventist missionary in China took care of him. He actually advised my father to come to United States to go to school, but he did not want to do that because his mother was in Indonesia. So he went to Indonesia when he was 19 years old, and he was considered a missionary. So since then, all his life, he was considered doing mission work. Have you done any volunteer work?
I've been doing a few VBSs every summer. Some of my friends, they've gone to Brazil. They came back and they were saying it was an amazing experience to help and give back, and it was just they didn't have any negative comments, all positive. It was really cool. So how do you see God leading in your life right now?
God has led me in a very special way. We were brought up in Seventh-day Adventist home, so we usually take religion for granted, going to church, and everything is so automatic. I was rather stubborn. I was very tricky. I had my naughty streak also, right? Very, very rebellious. In Indonesia, it was acceptable to skip grades. My first grade was 2nd grade, and I went to 4th grade, and then 6th grade, and then we went to English school in the 6th grade, and then 1 year I studied Indonesian. And then I went to the Philippines for my college, and I finished nursing, the bachelor, and then I went to Hong Kong as a missionary. I came to United States in 1965, and I went to La Sierra because I wanted to be a doctor so badly, so I had to take some science courses. And at that time, my parents, for some reason, we drifted apart. We were not that close anymore. My parents wanted me to get married. I was 23, but I did not want to get married because I wanted to go to medical school. I did not have any money at all. My parents sent the money to my brother, who was my classmate. Both of us were accepted to medical school, but my parents would give money to my brother because he was a boy and I was a girl. A girl was supposed to get married. I was supposed to marry a physician. But that physician was kind of funny. When I told him I wanted to go to medical school, then he said, "Oh, Mrs. White said, a woman's work is in the kitchen. You don't have to be a doctor." And I said, "Oh, just forget it then." So he was out. One day, I was walking with friends, actually. We were walking on one Sabbath afternoon when we were walking, then we passed by my chemistry teacher's home. And then so she asked us to go in and chat with her and her husband. And then so she asked, so what are you going to do come September? Then I said, well, I was accepted to medical school, but I do not have any money. And then somehow, then she said, oh, my husband and I decided that we are going to support you through medical school. God's leading. So that's how I became a doctor. They financed me all 4 years in medical school. I wasn't that close. It was just, I'm sure the blessing came from God. Right?
Wow.
Well, to cut the story short, when I was 29, I got a stroke. I got a stroke, so I had the surgery, carotid surgery. My right side was all paralyzed. I couldn't talk. I lost my speech. And then after the surgery, I recovered. But then when I had the stroke, I was in the anesthesiology residency. It was amazing. I recovered very, very well. Another God's leading, right? Because of the stroke, I became a doctor. I became an anesthesiologist. I wanted so much to work in my career. I was so ambitious that I do a lot of research work, and one of them was malignant hyperthermia. I did research work with the NIH. For me, it was so glamorous. And then malignant hyperthermia at that time had 70% mortality. And I was one of the first ones to use dantrolene as the treatment. But the treatment was not FDA approved yet. So every time when a patient is dying from malignant hyperthermia, I had to call the FDA for permission to use that medication. But now, of course, it's just very popular, and you could use that. In fact, it's a must that every operating room has to have the malignant hyperthermia kit. You can talk to your dad about that. And then shortly after, I met Dr. Daniel Inyo. We got married just 3 months after we met. Probably he is the best thing that happened to me in my life. And because of him, he is so dedicated. He loves the church so much. And because of him, that he and I have been doing a lot of church work, a lot of mission work. And we influence each other. And we can do great works together because we work together. 11 years ago, we came to Azure Hills Church. And coming with us, the first Sabbath, 85 Indonesian members joined the two of us. I thought when I discussed things with Pastor Brandt, it would be only 2 of us coming here. But who knows, our whole clan of friends came with us, 85. And then right now, after 11 years, there are over 200 Indonesian members in this church. I'm very sure what I want, and I'm very sure what I'm doing is the right thing.
Yeah.
What are the occasions that you can see the evidence of God's leading?
Well, my mom's side of the family is super musical. She really wanted me to be able to read music and be able to play an instrument, and she really wanted me to be able to play up front for God. Being able to play guitar, I feel like God's wanting me to do it, and I really enjoy it a lot. I know that wherever I go, I hope that God can use me. I try to have prayer time with Him. Whenever I'm free, just like sit down and pray. Thank God for everything that's good happening to me.
I can talk to Him like
a friend.
The more I read the Bible, and especially in Sabbath school now, when we talk about how Israelites have done a lot of things wrong over and over again, and the Lord always forgave them. You know.
Hearing these stories, like it's really awesome to like hear these.
And it's nice talking to you. I really appreciate this time with you.